What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Third and Longhorn, and we are here to preview. This is going to be painful to say, guys. Unranked Texas Longhorns taking on the number 6 Oklahoma Sooners. So I didn't think that would be an intro. I said this early in the year, but we'll get to that. I'm joined today by Fozzy Whittaker, Rob Babers, Alex Okafor, Mark Higgins. Good afternoon. I'm Nick Shuley, and we are going to preview this game. Texas is 3-2, 0-1 in the conference, and Oklahoma's 5-0 and 1-0 in conference. Last year, the Horns, everybody remembers, won 34-3. It was a beautiful game. Oklahoma played the best they could possibly play, and we managed to beat them. I'm kidding. And, I can't even get through that. The weather forecast at kickoff is sunny with the temperature at 86 degrees. It's a 2:30 kick. You guys can see some of us on the preview show on KXAN, KBVO. Before the game, opening line, Horns are favored by 3.5 with an over-under of 42.5. We'll get to that as well. And guys, talk real quickly about your memories of this game. Like, just what's your favorite memory, each of you, of the Red River Rivalry?
Saying it 5 times fast is tough.
Exactly. It's impossible.
I lost too many times. I'm not gonna lie to you. I only beat him once.
All right, Rob's done.
I'm 1-3. So my favorite memory, unfortunately, is I love the win. That win is awesome too, because that was the game Mike Leach left the dummy script out there. Yeah, he left the dummy script out there. Now, it was Tom Herman and like Oscar Giles or something that found it, took it up to the late Carl Burr-Reese, by the way, rest in peace, to the late Carl Burr-Reese, and they like, this must be it. And we ended up down double digits early in that damn game, came back and won it. So that was pretty thrilling. And then I had a pick 6 my senior year in this game, and we went up double digits, and I thought, we're going to win this damn game. It's going to be because Robbie's pick 6, baby. Nope, that didn't happen. Not the next play, because we had an extra point to kick, but then the play after that, the kickoff, they returned it deep into our own territory and essentially nullified all the momentum that we were able to get in that game. And that's how that game goes, man. You got to answer. That's the lesson I learned in that game. And the lesson I think Sark learned in that game too. The momentum in that game, if you allow somebody to monopolize the momentum in that game, it'll steamroll you. It really will. It'll start going downhill on you quick. So you got to answer, whether it be like the trick play you got or whether that be deep in your bag. Everybody's got stuff they say for this game, and you got to make sure that you are ready to answer when that team makes their big play, because they will. It's a heavyweight fight. They're going to throw some blows, except for last year. They're going to throw some blows. You're going to take some hits, but in the end, it's all about overcoming adversity.
Dude, the troll level of Mike Leach to that's great. I mean, that was master out of it.
That was actually magic.
It worked.
And it worked to a certain degree. That's the crazy part.
Until the second quarter, they were like, this ain't the damn scrum.
I mean, at some point, you gotta know that, hey, we're getting set up at this point. It's like the defensive end, like on a screen pass. Like, it's too easy. I've never won this quickly. Something has to be up.
That's true.
That's awesome. Oak, what about you, man?
For me, it was when I was younger, earlier in my career, my freshman, sophomore year, because later in my career, man, we got steamrolled.
We won't talk about those.
But in my career, the early teams that I had, we went up against some dynamic Oklahoma squads. I'm talking about Oklahoma with Sam Bradford, DeMarco Murray, Ryan Broyles, Jermaine Gresham, Shane Williams. Like, this is a legendary Oklahoma squad, and we beat them 2 years in a row, man. And as a young player coming in, that was my vision of Texas. When I joined the program, I was like, man, this is Texas right here, beating up on Oklahoma, beating up on A&M, like coming out fast at 11 a.m. sharp. Like, we played some really good football early in my career against Oklahoma and against, to me, some of the best Oklahoma teams that they've ever trotted out there. Like, the amount of talent that was on the field those 2 years was unbelievable. And even in my second year, I remember second drive of the game, A.J. Williams comes off on a nickel blitz.
I remember that.
Knocked Sam Bradford out the game early, man. Like, this is legendary Texas versus Oklahoma, and it's just cool reminiscing on teams like that.
Man,
that's cool. Fozzy, what about you, man? How do
y'all
you know it?
Y'all know me. The same feeling that you all felt, I think you can't replicate it in any other stadium, in any other rivalry, is coming out of that tunnel. And both teams are situated in the tunnel. One team's in front of the other, depending on who's home or away. And you always come out of the side that Oklahoma fans sit on. And so if we were the away team, then we would come out first. But Oklahoma's literally right behind us. As we're in the tunnel together, you hear us jawing back and forth. The other crazy part is we used to have the same chants. Like, you be getting warm, like you saying stuff. It's like we have the same chants in the tunnel. It was like you getting hyped, they getting hyped, they saying the same thing, boys jawing back to each other. And then they finally is like, all right, away team goes out first, and you hear the raining of boos as you're on the Oklahoma side. But the coolest thing about it in the atmosphere and what makes it so special and the greatest rivalry, in my opinion, is as soon as you cross the 50-yard line, and you can only experience it if you're on the field, is the transition from the boos to the cheers. And you can, it gives me chills even now, just because it's like that feeling of like we're the most hated and most loved, depending on where you stand in this stadium, is something that you can't replicate in any other place. So I think that's the most kind of vivid memory and experience that I have. Obviously, the games in and of themselves are immaculate. And that speaks for itself. But then after the game, I got to go get funnel cake. I need a funnel cake. Give me my strawberry, my powdered sugar, and then let's call it a day after that. So that's where I am, the cheers and the boos and the funnel cakes.
And real quick, just piggybacking off Fozzy's point, man, to me, it's the best football environment in all of football. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about high school, college. I'm talking about entirely in the whole atmosphere realm of football. This is the best environment right here, man. Where else are you going to get a 50-50 split against teams that hate each other?
Yeah.
It's unreal, and I've had the most fun playing in those games that I've ever had.
I agree.
And just a border rivalry, too. Everything with so many guys from Texas on Oklahoma.
You know a lot of those guys, too.
So many guys from Dallas.
On the news.
Ran track, all that.
It's awesome.
Together.
OU is the home team this year.
Okay.
There you go.
I like that.
Is it really? Why did I think we were the home team?
So checks in icy whites.
The AI overview says Oklahoma.
Because I thought it count because didn't we have less home games in a row because that was a home game? I thought, but it's all right.
Oh, yeah.
We could fact check out
last year. Because last year was supposed to be a home game for Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And they were on the road. So
AI.
We should be home this year.
See, we can keep our jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll get into our score predictions, et cetera, later. But please drop your score predictions in the comments there. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we have in our notes to cover the Florida one. I don't think we have to because we're filming this on Monday, and our episode that we filmed at Austin City Limits Festival. Shout out to the great folks at Austin City Limits for having us out. We got to record a show there on the bonus track stage. I had a few hundred people there. It was cool to see. So that will be dropping, and we already had our post game live one with Hills, me, and Higgs. I got Higgs in there this time, as well as then we recap Florida in the park. So I think let's put that one to rest because I don't want to talk about it anymore. I think you guys are probably the same way. And plus, I'm sure it'll get sprinkled. It'll get sprinkled in here.
Yeah, this one it'll come up. It comes up in every Longhorn comes.
For the rest of the year.
Exactly.
Anyway, all right. Well, let's get into the Texas offense versus the Oklahoma defense. I think both sides are going to be very interesting. There's a lot of interesting storylines in this game, but the Texas offense averaging 419 yards a game, 29.6 points a game, 242 passing yards, and 176 rushing yards. Those have to be going down after the last outing. Oklahoma defense allows 193 yards per game, 7.2 points per game, 118 passing yards a game, and 74 yards rushing a game. They've recorded 21 sacks in 5 games this season, including, I think Jackson Arnold remembers that one where he was sacked 9 times. Like that's insane. Yeah. Anyway, so let's get into kind of what we expect to see here. Obviously, the elephant, it's not even an elephant in the room. It might even be bigger, is the running game and figuring this out. Let's kick it to the running back first.
Yeah.
What can we do to fix this for this game, and what do you expect to see?
Well, the aspect of the run game or lack thereof against Ohio State, which was actually much better. It was probably the best we've seen the run game at this season. Whenever we had a healthy Trey Wisner and a healthy C.J. Baxter, and we were able to carry the ball effectively and efficiently. It wasn't anything astronomical from a numbers perspective, but they did their job controlling the flow of the offense, right? They didn't necessarily control the game, but they controlled the flow of the offense. Since that Ohio State outing, we've had injuries at the running back position, and we've seen a tremendous drop-off from the effectiveness of the runners that have tried to replace what those two guys provided against Ohio State. And then you look at, obviously, last week, the Florida game. It's not enough. The issue that I saw, in my opinion, when watching film, was the point of attack was not good enough. Whether you're running zone, whether you're running gap scheme, and whether it's wide zone, inside zone, at the point of attack, our blockers were not staying on the defenders long enough for the hold to develop and allow the runner to get significant yardage. Vice versa, Florida was able to do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And Florida did it very well. And the reason why they had such success with Jaden Ball was because they got a hat on a hat, but those hats stayed on a hat.
We couldn't get off blocks. Texas
Could not get off the blocks.
Get off.
Could not get off the blocks. And it was the exact opposite for Texas's offense. If they got into position, they couldn't stay in position to win. So it starts with positioning with the hats and making sure you do the steps that you're supposed to. Rod mentioned this yesterday at ACL, was the fundamental aspects of blocking. If you're supposed to take a 6-inch step to the right to be able to cut off the defensive tackle, then take that 6-inch step to the right to cut them off. You take 4 inches, that's not enough. Oklahoma's defense is well equipped to be able to disrupt the run and the passing game. So I think it starts with fundamentally going back to the basics, like Rod mentioned, is, hey, start with footwork, start with hat placement, and then you got to strain. I think that's the key word for me, that what I want to see from this offensive line is strain until the whistle is blown. If somebody getting outside of the framework of your body, I need to see you turn and run as fast as you can and try to push them as hard as you can past the hole of where they're supposed to go, right? You're going to get beat, whether it's by placement of the defensive line, and he's already ahead of where you're supposed to block him, or physically gifted athletes. There's just some better guys out there. Like, you still have to find a way to get an edge, and whether that's your tenacity, whether that's your focus, whether that's your never quit attitude, that's what has to come out on display against this Oklahoma defense. And it starts with them up front, and then you can take it into the running backs of, like, sometimes if ain't nothing there, you got to lower your shoulder and make a hole. And if you get hit at the line of scrimmage, lean forward and you got to go get 2 more, right? And eventually those types of plays, the defense ain't going to want to keep hitting you if you leaning on them that long. Hopefully by the 3rd and the 4th quarter, you can wear them down. They take a bad angle, and then you're able to set them up with the, oh, you think I'm about to lower the shoulder. Now I'm going to dip inside and then cut back behind you and go pick up some extra significant yardage. So it starts with strain at the offensive line, and then running backs be decisive, go make a play. But whenever ain't nothing there, they got to create something to create a push and establish a type of mindset early in the game, so that when 3rd and 4th quarter comes and you're dependent upon, you're able to kind of revert back to what you already started and established with.
Physicality. I mean, that's how you get. This game is about usually who's the most physical in this game, and that uses, it's not always the team that's favored or even the better team.
Right.
Texas has won these games being the more physical team, and they weren't a better team than Oklahoma in those years, but they were able to do it. Fozzy's he's right about the run game, and the reason it's so important is because you got to stay ahead of the chains. In that last game versus Florida, guys, they averaged 11 yards to gain on 3rd down. 3rd, that's what they averaged.
That's not
Crazy.
Yeah, on the season versus Power 4 teams, they only played 2, but 2 good tests. They're averaging nearly 8 yards to gain on 3rd down. So they got to stay ahead of the chains against this. This is the best 3rd down defense in the country.
Yep.
In the country.
17%.
This defense, I'm going to give it to you real quick. This defense actually statistically.
I've got this same thing printed out. Actually, here, just go off.
There you go. We can bring Bond single up. Right. It's actually better statistically than the Ohio State defense right now.
Yes.
And Ohio State, that's a top 5 defense as well. This is where they're ranked in all these categories. Total defense, they're first. If you look at sacks per game, they're first. Tackles for loss per game, they're first. All of college football. 3rd down defense, first. If you look at scoring defense, they're second. Pass defense, second. Touchdowns allowed, second. Passing touchdowns allowed, second. Opposing plays of 10-plus yards, they're second. Opposing yards per attempt, they're second. Opposing first downs a game, they're second. Passing efficiency defense, they're second. Rushing touchdowns allowed, they're 3rd. Rushing defense, they're 5th. Falling off a little bit. Opposing pass completion percentage is 6th. Thank you very much for that. And I got another stat stat for this. That was mind blowing.
Yeah.
They've actually, and I thought it was a fake stat in the weekly up, and it's real. Apparently, the Sooners have forced more punts this season than they have allowed points.
Yes, we said it on the broadcast, actually, if you watch SEC Network this past Saturday.
No.
They have allowed 36 points, I believe it was, and Kent State punted, and it made the 37th punt that Oklahoma defense was able to force, and Kent State punted again after that. But yeah, they've allowed more punts than they have points overall through 5 games.
Well, I'm glad Rob brought this up because in honor of Rob Baber's birthday.
Let's go, baby.
Man.
Come on, baby. Oh, you didn't want to get your shine on.
In honor of his birthday, there were a bunch of tweets out there with a lot of Oklahoma people chirping, and I feel like
Look at this.
Texas was in that position recently, and then we kind of got put in our place last game, and a lot of people were saying it was because of the competition, etc. So let's go through OU's competition here today, folks. This was my deep dive. They opened the season beating FCS team Illinois State 35-3. Then they beat Michigan, a ranked Michigan team 24-13. At Temple 42-3. Auburn 24-17, and Kent State 44-0. Now, the interesting part about these stats, fellas.
Deeper.
So for all you Oklahoma fans that I know you're probably not going to like the facts here, Auburn's total offense ranked 106 so far this year. Kent State's total offense ranked 132nd so far this year. Temple's offense 94th. Michigan's offense 36. Illinois State play in another division, and if you put them into the D1 or whatever FBS, 63rd. So that's even with that. Without the Illinois State in there, the teams they play have an average total offense of 92, the 92nd ranked team. So they're a very good defense. I'm not hating on that, but these stats are very, very inflated, in my opinion. And I think I do think they're a good defense, but that I think it's just tempered a little. And for those that were comparing, the total offense of the teams Texas has played ranked 78, so 14 spots higher than what OU's played. So. Just wanted to put that out there. That's in honor of your birthday, a little deep dive there. So,
little Rod B stat preview.
Rod B impression.
Oak, what do you got, Oak?
For me, I think these guys hit it right on the head. I'm a start with saying the physicality piece in the rushing attack. And I don't know when we get C.J. Baxter back, but whenever he does come back, I think it will add to this rushing attack, and we'll get some of that physicality back. Make no mistake, it does start up front, like Foz was saying. We have to stay on blocks and move people off the point of attack. It's not just about leaning on them. It's about moving them off the point of attack. And it doesn't take much. I'm not talking about you got to move them 5 yards. I just need you to give me 2 yards of push. Get me 2 yards of push, and that's all you need. So there has to be significant improvement in that department. What I really want to highlight, though, I want to highlight penalties. Because that's something you should be able to control. So that's not a talent issue. That's a discipline issue. And so far this season, in terms of the penalty battle, we've lost that battle every single week. So you mean to tell me before we even go into a game, you're telling me we're going to lose the penalty battle? We're not giving ourselves a chance. And it's both sides of the football, but we're talking offensively. Offensively, we're not giving ourselves a chance with the penalties. So Bill Belichick, greatest football coach ever. I know. I don't care.
That's fair. Greatest professional.
Pro. And I know he's tanking his legacy right now. So however y'all feel about him, you have to respect the man.
All for Jordan.
You have to respect the man.
It's undefeated.
He has one of the best quotes. He's like, "You can't win until you stop from losing." And that's what this Texas team is doing. Yeah. We're not giving ourselves the chance to be successful. Anytime we have a positive play, there's a holding or there's a hands to the face, something that shouldn't be there, a discipline issue. And I'm looking at Sark. Sark has done amazing things for this program, but a staple for his teams over the course of the past 2 to 3 years has been penalties and racking up penalties. Even when we were at our best, we were still losing the penalty battles the past couple of years. When is it going to get cleaned up? It has to get cleaned up. We cannot show our full potential until we are able to limit penalties and get out of our own way. So offensively, before we talk about physicality and stretching the field and all of this type of stuff, let's just win penalty battle. Can we go into this week and the number one objective is we commit fewer penalties than Oklahoma.
Man,
That's what I want to see.
I like that. That Belichick quote was great. What's that again? Say that again.
You can't win until you stop from losing.
Damn, that's good.
Which team was it that was fining their players for penalties, like because of the NIL era? Who was that? I heard that this weekend.
A&M.
Was it? Oh yeah, it's A&M. It's Elko.
It was next to fun.
He said, "You guys are gonna be the combo for you." That's right.
So you
Yeah.
say you should take from Elko.
I mean,
Go ahead. No, I like that.
I like it.
Coach
I like it.
Chicago.
Stand by it. I like
Yeah.
that. Y'all getting paid now?
Absolutely.
You have to be making a certain amount to be have to be able to be fined. I think, because otherwise that's rough.
Fun my head. 17-2 get fined.
Or some fourth stringers like, dude, come on, like really?
So walk on. He's like, what the hell?
let me add one small thing to where I have concern. And obviously we saw the concerns for this Texas offense up front. It has to change even more than that. And I don't know if that's where you were going, but I do want to say, after watching Oklahoma's film, I watched every game in preparation for the game against Kent State, and then watching the Kent State game live. Brent Venables calls the defense very similarly how Sark schemes up a play to work successfully offensively. So the sacks that are manufactured, they're not all just because our Mason Thomas is better than the left tackle. Now, he's probably better than 90% of the tackles he's going to face.
He schemes it up.
He's
But
decent.
He's scheming
The
it up.
scheme is freaking legit, and it works. So what Texas has to be most alert for from the offensive line is the number of twists and stunts that Brent Venables brings out. He rushes. He'll line 7 people up at the line of scrimmage and blitz off 7 and run 0 behind it. Or he'll drop all 3 linebackers, and then now you only got a 3-man rush. Like, it looks the same, but you have to identify who. He'll mug the middle linebacker right up, and it looks like a 5-man front Mike linebacker right there. Slant with the Mike linebacker and the defensive tackle, and then the DN wraps all the way around. You got to pass off 3 guys. Passing off 3 gaps is pretty tough to do depending on what type of blocking scheme you have up. And then if you don't do it properly, those guys come free and they win. That's why they're number 1 in sacks per game, is because schematically and athletically, Brent Venables has found a way to get them matchups that win and create confusion on who the guys are to block. So it's going to be pivotal for them to provide support and help, because you're going to see a ton of the most twists I've probably seen in 2-man game and 3-man game from an FBS program.
It's bad news for Texas offensive line. I mean, understand,
That's what scares me the most.
The 6 sacks they allowed, you go back and look at them. I think 5 of them came on 4-man rushes,
Right.
and 4 of them came on simulated pressure. Kind of stuff you're talking
And
about.
a ton of
Right, yeah, they don't know who's coming, but they know 4 guys are coming, and they come from the second level sometimes, and sometimes they twist stunts. They run games up front. This offensive line does not. They do not work as a unit very well, passing off those pass rushes
From a 5-man perspective.
Yes, and I love Arch. Arch holds on to the ball very long. He's at 3.2 seconds average time to throw, which is good. That's more of a compliment to him, because he extends plays and keeps plays alive and can make some plays in scramble drill, which is great. But it's tough to block guys for 3.2 seconds while you let those long vertical routes develop downfield. It's going to allow for them to get some funky, really exotic twists and stunts in games up front, as you will know.
Yeah, no, and I mean, y'all hit it right on the head. For me, with this Oklahoma defense, and it's kind of like our defense playing Florida last week, and going off of Nick's point, what dynamic offenses have they faced so far this year? So I think there's an opportunity for us offensively to stretch the field at times with them. Like, Arch has displayed the ability to stretch the field. Oh, yeah. And Oklahoma hasn't seen that all year. So if we can match up with bodies up front, if we can come with the physicality and move bodies off the line of scrimmage and play our style of game, I think there will be opportunities for a couple of explosive plays, and that could be the difference for our offense. Now, we got to make sure that we roll into this thing appropriately, kind of like what Florida set up Lagway to do against us. Got to get the rushing game going, because Lagway looked like a completely different player with that rushing attack. Like, they didn't ask him to do too much. They just asked him to deliver the football when the guy was open, and that's what he did. So if we can kind of roll out early in the game like that with Arch and this rushing attack, I think there will be a couple opportunities to hit Oklahoma defense deep and we have to capitalize on that.
That's money because actually you're right about that because Auburn got behind. Auburn's got
Yeah.
good receivers, and they just Jackson Arnold couldn't hit them. Yeah, they got some good. They got
Cam
NFL
Coleman
guys.
is a dog.
So I'm thinking about that. If you get the time.
Well,
Done.
since you covered the game last week, I'll let you talk about R. Mason Thomas and Taylor Wynn and Jaden Jackson.
Oh yeah, give me slow down.
They can go.
Taylor Wine is really good, high motor guy, athletically gifted, but not nearly as gifted as like R. Mason Thomas. But he never quits. That's a guy number 44 on defense. Whenever you see him, he's nonstop to the play, to the quarterback, to the running back, to the receiver. Like his motor is always going. R. Mason Thomas, if you just talk about defensive ends and who's probably the most gifted on their team defensively, it's him hands down. It's not even close by any metric.
Is he the best you've seen this year?
The best in person, I would say yes.
Okay, gotcha.
In person, yes. I wouldn't say in the country, but in person, yes. And what makes him special is he got the full tool set, and AO can kind of speak on what that even means. But he can bull rush, as he showed on the last sack against Auburn to end the game with the safety on Jackson Arnold, where he took on the tackle, literally planted him in Jackson Arnold's lap. And there was a chip block that happened on that as well. The running back tried to chip too. He planted both of them in Jackson Arnold's lap and then reached over the tackler to sack Jackson Arnold.
And honestly, that's what they teach us as ends. They're like, if you're going to get a chip block, run right through the tackler so that they can't chip you. Yeah, it doesn't give you any surface area to chip.
And he did, and it worked. But then he has the speed rush to be able to do that too. So he's a polished rusher and has multiple tools in his tool belt to be successful. The guy that I'm also very nervous about is David Stone. Hasn't started. Last week was his first week he started, but he's been the most productive interior defensive lineman. A true sophomore from IMG Academy, so played with Jared Gibson, but was, I think, the number 1 defensive tackle in the country. If he wasn't the number 1, he was the number 2 defensive tackle in the country last year. Number 0, big guy. Good feet, but can move. Like he's a penetrator against the run. And Venables vividly told me last week, our goal is to stop the run first, and then we can do the pass. Like that, it's privilege to go rush the passer, but we got to stop the run first. So he prides himself on getting run defenders that can also pass rush, and that's what David Stone is from the interior line perspective. They also got Jaden Jackson, another guy that's high motor.
3 sacks.
322. He got 3 sacks himself.
I feel like everybody on their defense has 3.
They do, right. And it's schematically.
Yeah.
But they are gifted that if they get the one-on-one opportunity, they've shown they can win that. And it's sometimes by surprise where, he lined up over here, but then he moved over here and the backer came here. Now it's a one-on-one. The guard thought he had a one-on-one with the defensive end, and it ends up being a one-on-one with the defensive tackle because of the slant. But those guys win those one-on-ones still. So it's a little bit of a push and a pull from the standpoint of schematics versus athleticism, but they do it very well. They execute it at a high level. And I think what's important is that Texas has to make sure when they're doing their sets, they got to be vertical. If they step out horizontally or try to strike too aggressively to a person and there's a pick that comes or there's some sort of screen that happens from the opposite side, there's no way you're going to get back to block the guy that you're supposed to block. And so what helps that is being able to have the linemen set back vertically on the same level so that whenever they do their crosses and stuff, you can push one guy over to your buddy and say, go, whatever turn they utilize, go, over, and then they can set back vertically to pick up the looper or the guy that's twisting on the opposite end. So that'll be important, but they do have some guys that can make plays athletically, as they've always had, right?
Yeah, well, I think we covered this side of the ball pretty well. So let's flip over to, I think this, both sides are intriguing. This one has a lot of storylines because we're filming this on Monday, as I mentioned. We don't know Mateer's status. You've got possibly Michael Hawkins Jr. trying to get a get-back game after last year's 34-3 loss. You've got a Texas defense coming off easily their worst performance of the year, trying to I think this is, for them, it's a it's a statement game, right? Like this is your chance. Was last week an anomaly, or were some of these critics correct? Were you not as good as your rankings said you were? So I think that part's gonna be fascinating. What do you guys expect to see here? Oh, first off, actually, before we start, does John Mateer play? We're making a prediction.
And because of the rivalry and because you know he wants to play, I would naturally think if he could go, he would.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can't call it. You have to think about
Copping
this.
out on the answer?
Say it again.
Are you copping out on the answer?
Does he play? Does he
This is
not?
a yes or no question.
Can I explain my thoughts about this?
My fault. That's on me. That's my fault. That's my fault.
Jay Hills is here, and then Oak just
I gotta
fills
stand
I
in
don't
for
like to
Jay
just
Hill.
give an answer and just leave it at that, man. I got to provide some context with it.
Go ahead. My fault, bro.
sounding like Hills.
I interrupted. My bad.
And I'll say this: me and Rod was talking about this before this show right here, so I might be taking his. But from what he's shown early in the season, he's shown that he has NFL caliber ability. And since the injury is to a hand for a quarterback, I think he's going to be a little cautious. I think he has to look at the bigger picture and see what's at stake moving forward for him personally. So I say all that to say, I don't think he'll play.
Okay. Rod?
I don't think he'll play. I think they want you to think he's gonna play.
Yeah.
So you gotta waste practice time, and it's irresponsible not to if you're starting. You have to make sure your team is prepared for every scenario. So I think that's just smart gamesmanship on their part. Float the rumors out there. Tell some coach behind the scenes that knows some coach on his team.
Tell the kid at Chick-fil-A.
And he's out at practice. We don't know, whatever it is. Yeah, put it out there on the internet. But I think in the end it'll be Hawkins. And it's just, honestly, I hate to say it, the way Texas looked versus Florida, they got a shot with the backup quarterback. Unfortunately, if Texas plays that way.
Fozzy, what do you think, man?
I call the game. I know I keep saying it, but there was the expectation that John Mateer would not suit up. Like he was out, like for sure. Nobody expected that to happen. And this guy, they getting ready to come out the tunnel for pat and go and getting ready to warm up. Full speed, full pads.
What? When was this?
Full
Last
speed,
week?
last week.
This was last week?
Full speed, full pads. He ran out. He didn't do any drills. He didn't
Yeah.
throw the ball or anything.
But he's one of them.
Ran out.
He's like, he wide.
It's going. It's wide.
It's in him.
They had him talk to a couple of recruits right before. Then man sprinting out right there with Michael Hawkins Jr. like he was about to take a snap. He had a brace on his hand, so it was covered up and obviously protected.
He was hot.
Like if you didn't know any difference, you might would have thought this man was about to get ready to take the next step. Now
I think that's part because they knew they were playing Kent State and
that's what I'm going for.
Okay,
That was the next part about it. I don't know if that was a Brent Venables thing or if John Mateer said, hey, I want to be suited up with the guys. As former players, if you wasn't playing in a game and you knew you weren't playing in a game, would you rather be in sweats or would you rather be in full pads?
Sweats.
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 There you go. Especially against Kent State. Put me in some sweats.
What do I need to be in full pads for? Everybody knows this is not a surprise. It's not a trick thing.
Wild, though.
Full pads.
If you've ever put on a game day jersey, you would definitely.
You know
wanna be in some
exactly what
sweats.
that means. So I say all that to say I think he's playing.
Yeah.
Because you think that was him and
He's
not Venables.
I think it was
That was
him.
him.
And he's also a Dallas guy.
He got that dog in
He
him,
hasn't
too, though.
gotten to play in this, and he's probably been chomping at the bit to play in this game in particular.
I think that's
So I think he
the
plays.
biggest
good-
factor,
that's a good
though,
nugget.
is that he does want to compete. So if he doesn't, it would be a situation of them holding him back.
Got that dog in
Biggs,
him.
what'd you have?
We got a couple draft boards open here, and he's listed as the second quarterback taken off the board.
So he's got a team around him, guys, that, like Alex was just saying, that may tell him, bro, I know you want to go, but we can't let you go. Like the checks have cleared. And
Maybe.
So,
But you know what this game means.
I know this game.
Who would? That's like you saying VY, bro. Hey, don't go suit up.
You're
bro.
right. I agree.
You
If
would
he got that
never.
dog in him like that, you ain't gonna be able to stop him.
I would hope if it's a 50-50 decision, somebody would pull him to the side. And
He
be
got
like,
he got another year of eligibility.
Come on, now.
Fellas,
He has another year of eligibility.
It's just the fact that it's a hand to me.
That's
I come from
Well, it's a defense that can get after you. Is that very true?
I come from a family of Washington State Cougars, so I have seen every single game that John Mateer's played in college. And my uncle, He's a farmer in Pullman, Washington.
go.
Like he doesn't.
Let's go.
Gerard.
Nick's got people in. He's got people in fifth grade.
Dude, my Uncle Gerard and my cousin Gavin are both, and they used to, because I would talk to them about this. I'm like, man, this kid from Little Elm, like he could go. And like when I first saw him play, I was like, this guy's good. And they both said he is a crazy person in the way he plays football, like to the point where they were frustrated because he looks for contact. Like he's one of those. I love that. And I love watching him play football. I think if it comes down to, like you said, like the team, the reason, everything, everybody around him, if they make the decision, he does not play. If they say, John Mateer, you make the call, he plays. Yeah. But I just, man, you're right. It's the right hand though. Like it's all this stuff, and let's call it what it is. Like these are long football seasons, and OU hasn't dropped a game. They can. It sounds weird to say, but you can drop a game.
Yeah.
And they can drop a game in the SEC like this. Granted, you don't want it to be this one, obviously, because it's Texas OU. But man, I think if he has any say in it, I think he plays. But we'll see. And we're about to find out.
Did it 13 days.
Yeah. And man, but the problem is the way he plays. Like he's
our main running.
Rusher.
Yeah, he's our main running.
But they might look at our last game and say, look, he's not going to get touched.
Oh wow!
I mean,
now we got a segue into defense. Now.
Yeah, that was the perfect segue. So what do you guys expect to see in this game? And you let's take it as Hawkins is playing, because I think that like most everybody accepts that that's the likely thing that's going to happen. Yeah. But what do you guys expect?
I'll get back to the basics. I said this before. They actually, I think they missed 9 tackles according to Pro Football Focus in the last game, but it led to, I believe it's 94 yards after contact.
Right.
160 yards after the catch. So to me in this game, I think kind of when we were talking about offense, they got to get back to kind of the simplistics of blocking technique and fundamentals. Defense, they were, I've never seen that a PK defense, or I'll say that maybe Arkansas game back in the day.
When the very first one.
Yeah, but that was like first year where the rush defense was that bad.
Yeah.
Where you saw basically guys in multiple defenders in the same gap, defensive line getting washed down like that. Guys, it was very uncharacteristic of a recent PK defense. So I think they'll bounce back. I think you got to bounce back factor. When you get, I've been embarrassed before. I'm sure you guys have had games where y'all embarrassed. That's what Florida just dealt with, and what Texas saw. That was Florida's embarrassment factor.
Yeah,
right. A good athlete.
Right.
They've been everybody been talking down on them.
Right.
The desperation factor, like guys, we need a win. If we don't get a win, y'all know what this means.
Right.
And DJ Lagway, everybody focused. I think you get that from now. I hope you get it from the offense. I think the offense for Texas got bigger issues. I think from the Texas defense though, they know it's in them.
Yeah.
They know what
they've shown it already.
They got great players. They know that have proven themselves. So I think you get a bounce back factor with them, with the Texas defense. Now, that's got to be led by the leaders on the team, the Anthony Hills, the Colin Simmons, Michael Taft, those kind of guys. But they know what this game means, and they've played well in these games, all those guys. So, and going against a backup quarterback, well, we think. But I think the Texas defense has a strong bounce back factor in this matchup.
Well, and you just said it.
They're not a great ranked team.
That's what I was gonna say. Oklahoma does not. Yeah.
But by the way, they rank by where Florida ranks. I'm not making that up.
Yeah.
Right.
They Florida and them are both like outside the top 95 in rushing.
Yep.
So Florida did it to you.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is Mateer, wasn't it?
Yes, a big part of it was Mateer.
Yeah.
He was their leading rusher.
Much like us. A lot of it's Arch.
Unfortunately.
To be fair. Now, in piggybacking off of that, Michael Hawkins Jr., whenever they want to utilize him, they utilize him the same way as John Mateer. Ben Arbuckle actually thinks Hawkins is the better runner out of the two just because of how dynamic he is with the ball. So with Hawkins, maybe I expect even more quarterback run to be implemented.
Yeah.
It just, to your point, they've shuffled offensive linemen. They've had issues with injuries, again, at the offensive line position, maybe not as drastic as it was a year ago, but they don't have chemistry and the same type of symmetry over the course of the season with their starters, right? There's only been one starter, Febechi Wiwu, which is their right guard, is the only one that has started all 5 games now.
That's a nice nugget.
The only one that has started all 5 games for them on the offensive line. So that's not characteristic of Oklahoma offensive lines that we've seen in the past that have been really good. So they're struggling to find D guys and the combination of D guys to be able to give them the best chance, whether that's protecting John Mateer or Michael Hawkins Jr. or opening up run games. The true freshman, Torrey Blaylock, I think he's a really good player. Not as dynamic as we've seen running backs of Oklahoma in the past. Jay Knott, he showcased a little bit. He's been underwhelming from a performance factor. And so they're still searching for that kind of identity in the ground game in a similar way that Texas is kind of searching for it as well. And so that's why John Mateer has had to do as much as he's had over the past 4 games. So it does start with stopping the run, making sure that that's not an issue, because we saw whenever the hinges kind of break open, it opens up the offense to be able to run whatever they want. DJ Lagway was extremely comfortable in staying in rhythm because Jaden Ball was able to get those big 5, 6, 18, 13-yard gains, and it just kept the offense moving at an efficient pace against this Texas defense. So they got to stop the run to begin with, and then that's whenever you're able to hopefully showcase some of the inexperiences that Oklahoma offensive line has and utilize some of your best pass rushers, which I'm hoping Colin Simmons' homecoming opportunity, he gets to make his name kind of felt around the national narrative, because we haven't really heard from him in the way we thought we would, and especially going against the last 3 teams that they played before Florida.
Agreed.
We haven't seen it.
1.5 sacks so far this year.
Which is not terrible, but it's not the expectation that a lot of people have for Colin Simmons.
No doubt.
No, I loved how y'all kind of segued into this section, because I want to kind of touch on both of you guys' points. First, Rod, talking about a bounce back week for this Texas defense, I think it will be. For just looking strictly at the defensive line, in the past 2 years, I'll maybe even go 3 years, this might be a rock bottom moment against Florida for them. So that's the worst I've seen D-line be played here at Texas in the past couple of seasons. So how are we going to respond? And I think we will respond well. Every time I evaluate the Texas defense, I always lead with what do we look like rush defense-wise? And there's a reason for that. It's because whenever teams are allowed to run against you, it creates a litany of problems throughout the whole defense and ultimately across your whole team. But so obviously this Texas defense, or this rush defense, was soft against Florida. It was incredibly soft. I like calling it a donut because it was 0 in the middle. There was nothing in the middle. Nothing. And I'm not trying to put my guys down, because trust me, Coach Kenny Baker is giving it to them 10 times harder than what I'm giving it to them. And they know they didn't play to the standard this past week. So how are they going to respond? And I think they're going to respond well, man. It was weird to see, but we were getting, like Rod said, we were getting washed down the line of scrimmage. We couldn't get off blocks. I see guys getting pushed back a couple of yards, man. I see 2 guys in the same gaps. It was ugly, man. It was ugly. So I think this will be a strong bounce back week. And honestly, this Oklahoma offense is thinking, damn, why do they have to play so bad against Florida? Because they know they're about to get the best version of us. Yeah, they know they're about to get the best version of our defense. So I'm not worried about our defense, and I do think we're going to step up to the plate. I want to talk about Colin Simmons, because Fozzy kind of introed him. Yes, we haven't seen the early production we thought we'd see. I will say this. If you go back and watch the tape, I thought he had a very strong game against Florida. I thought he played really, really well, and I thought he found ways to affect the game outside of rushing the passer. Nobody was coming off blocks except him. He was the one guy that was able to get off his block and create a couple TFLs. So I thought he had a really strong game. So segueing into Fozzy's point, I think this is a huge opportunity for him to become that man on the stage, especially for this rivalry. And I think he's going to put on a dynamic performance. And I expect him to be defensive MVP this week, just because he's building off of the success he had last week, and it's going to roll into this week.
You had 6 pressures. Yeah,
Good with that.
Has anybody heard what happened to his arm? Did you see the big? He had that big brace on his arm.
I saw it underneath the sleeve. Huh?
Yeah.
He tried to cover it up.
Looking like Mega Man. Looking like Samus from
real quick. Last thing I'm gonna say is this game is ultimately gonna come down to which offense can stay on schedule and which defense takes the offense off schedule. Both of these offenses struggle running the ball, and when you can't run the football, it throws off the schedule. You end up in 2nd and long. You end up in 3rd and long. So which offense is gonna be able to get into 2nd and 5 the most? and that's what it's going to come down to.
Well, and let's not forget, I think it got lost in everything that happened. Not having Manny Muhammad last week was a big deal.
It showed
right?
up. He had Dallas Wilson.
Right.
That's
yeah.
what happened.
And yeah.
Needed him against
His debut, like, because that was good. But look, that makes a huge difference. And as of right now, I don't think we know. It didn't sound real promising the way people were talking. I hope that's wrong, but we will see. And Fozzy and I talked about this. The person that jumps out on the tape from this team is Isaiah Satania III. This kid's dynamic. He's a punt returner. He's got wiggle. He is dangerous. That is somebody that can get behind you. And if those young kids from Florida can get behind you, this kid can get behind you. So
I think they're going to have Oklahoma's going to do a trick play and some trick plays early. Because I think they understand their defense probably can hold you for most of the game, right? Because Texas, against really good defenses, they have spurts, but they don't put together any consistent drives throughout the game. So I think he figures we just got to get a lead on Texas, just kind of how Florida did. Get up on Texas early.
Make them play from behind.
Boom. And that's why I think watch the trick plays early, man. Flea flicker early on. They know you're going to start the run early. Look how you got embarrassed. So everybody knows you're going to start the run early. I'd be looking for it, man. Flea flicker, double pass, whatever. You know, halfback, whatever they got. I think they'll play. I think Venables will pull it out early.
I almost think they have to, just because they can't. I don't hold me to this, but I'd be really surprised if we show up with a no-show for our rushing defense. Like, I think our rushing defense is going to show up this week. So they're not going to be able to move the ball on the ground on us. And if it comes down to making Michael Hawkins Jr. beat us with his arm, I like our matchups in that department. So I say that
has to be the game.
Yeah, and I say that to say that I think gadgets will be coming. Yeah.
Well, to Rod's point on the gadgets and flea flickers or whatever, talk about the momentum in that game. Like, when you're in that game and you feel your team going, like, as a player, like when you guys went through it, can you feel it? Like, yo, we're losing this thing big time right now.
There's no doubt, and it can switch quick. I mean, look at Sark learned that in 2021.
Yeah.
I mean, Sark had all the momentum.
4 scores.
Yeah, it all the momentum. And then when did it change? Caleb Williams. Everybody remembers. You felt it. You watched it. If you were in the stadium, you felt it. You went like,
hang on to your hat.
Something shifted around it. What is cold around it? What is happening? And then from then on, the momentum. And then Texas was never able to take it back. They never snatched it back.
Right.
You got to answer in this game. So you have plays ready to answer. Like, when they get a great play, it's like on defense, PK, if your defense coming, you're like, man, we got to make a play. I might need to call a little something. I might need to take a chance here, roll the dice, because you have to answer, because it just builds in that game. It builds. Trust me, I was on the wrong side of a landslide of momentum in 2000 where we got blown out now by that Oklahoma team because we never answered from the jump. They just jumped on us, and we never made a play to answer them. And that's what I said. That's the lesson you have to learn. That's why coaching in this game is important, having the experience of it, and playing this game is important. Young teams usually get slapped around a little bit in these games because they don't understand the rules of engagement. They're different.
Yeah, they are.
Different.
They are. It's not a regular game.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of get backs, and I think I joke a lot, or we joke about special teams. Like, this is a very important game for our special teams, and especially after what we saw against Florida. I know we weren't happy about that. Not only the block punt, but the amount of times we had the opportunity to pin Florida deep and didn't. Sark talked about it in his press conference. So 60 yards lost on that, basically. And just not catching punts, wasting clock. These things, like, it was a tough day for the special teams. And so I think this is very important. The interesting part is OU has very, very good special teams. So Tate Sandell, their kicker, 9 of 10 on field goals this year, 18 of 18 on extra points, along a 55. He's got a huge leg. He's a left-footed kicker. He's beast. I mean, Mason Shipley, we really haven't seen much of Mason this year. Like 5 for 5 on field goals, 16 of 16 on extra points, and as long as 47. Grayson Miller is their punter. He's a Central Oklahoma transfer, but he's been a beast. 16 months, 49-yard average, longest 64, 7 inside the 20.
Be a little bit.
Yeah. And Bo Meester's at 21 punts, averaging 46.6, longest 62, 5 inside the 20. But he's had the opportunity to get a lot more inside the 20, but we just haven't been able to pin that down. So I think and like we talked about, Satania is a monster on that punt return. And look, Niblett's shown some real wiggle when he's out there and some flash, but he's got to catch the ball. And I think that's been the thing, is like we've got to catch that ball. Yeah. So I honestly right now I think the advantage goes to OU on the special teams, and I think that's a big deal for this game.
So you're basically saying they may have the advantage in 2 of the 3 phases.
Yeah,
Defense
possibly.
and special teams.
Possibly.
You need your offense to have. Like I said, I think Sark is also a little embarrassed by that game.
I think everybody is.
Everybody should be. By the way, I'm not, because I was embarrassed in some games too.
Yeah.
I remember the team coming together as a result of that.
Yeah. You have to.
Yes, you have to. That's my problem with this group. I'll just say this. They are, right now, they've proven to be a collection of talent. They are not a team.
Right.
And that's the biggest issue with this group. 2024, 2023, they produced, 23 NFL players? Those were talented teams.
Yeah. Complimentary.
They were talented teams. Yes, they had faults, everybody. No, it's no perfect team out there, but they were still a team. This is not. This is a collection of talent. And they have the rest of the season, right, to come together as a team. This is the perfect time for this game. And so that's my big criticism of them right now. And that's why they have team building exercises in the offseason, all this kind of stuff. But right now they're playing like a collection of talent. We know they're extremely talented. But that's the beauty of football. It's an ultimate team game. And that's why y'all are failing right now and being exposed when you play good teams or other talented teams, because you're not a team yet. You're just a collection of talent. And that is on the coaches. Because I don't think right now that this group is playing with unanimity and playing with a purpose, like a united purpose. Focus.
Well, let me ask y'all this right here, because the ACL show we had yesterday was incredible crowd.
That was awesome.
I had a little fan, a little kid, probably no older than 5 years old, come up to me and he asked me a question. He said, I was surprised you guys didn't mention the Livingston injury and how that'll affect this team. So I told him I'll bring it up on the show. Fozzy as the offensive guy, and Rod talking about continuity and chemistry. Well, we saw that with Arch and Livingston. They probably had the most continuity on the team, at least offensively. But with him out, having to miss a couple weeks, Fozzy, how does that affect our offense?
No, that's a great point.
Is he supposed to be out, or is he?
Is he negative?
I heard everything was negative.
Also, shout out a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
I don't think he's playing.
But he came back. He came back.
He walked back on the field, and then they took him out.
Didn't he have one play? I thought he lined up one play and had a black brace.
He was out there.
I saw that injury.
It did not.
So we're going to have to wait for the injury reports, obviously. If Livingston is available, he'd probably be in limited capacity, or they have to put him on some sort of number count. That definitely drastically affects the effectiveness of this Texas offense. That probably ups the number of reps that Emmett Mosley get.
That's right.
Still don't really know what he is or what he can.
He looked good versus Florida, actually.
Yeah.
I
But do we really know?
I want to see more DeAndre. I want to see more DeAndre.
So it'll be opportunity for those other three characters, Ryan Wingo, continue to build the chemistry that they've built over the past two games. More DeAndre, more Emmett Mosley, and depending on the severity of the injury, you probably put Parker on a pitch count, 20-25 plays if he's able to go. If not, then that is definitely a concern because of the chemistry and him being kind of one of the leading kind of explosive playmakers for this offense, and an offense that hasn't been very explosive and making explosive plays consistently against Power 4 opponents.
So what a play that was too that he got in.
It was amazing.
I was like that. I was like, he overthrew it. Boom. And then I don't know how he got out there.
The play design was a great play design too. It was out of that niblet package that that's kind of 21 personnel.
They usually do that with the tight end.
Yeah, and it was a wide delay basically. Instead we did it with the wide receiver. Yeah, it was actually, I like the play design.
Well, Higgs, what do you have for fun facts, famous alumni, etc.?
Well, probably one of their most famous alumni, Brian Bosworth, lives here in Austin. So that tells you.
I used to be neighbors with the boss.
Oh yeah.
I was neighbors with him. He has a little tiny dog, and he used to wear his OU stuff around. And we used to walk, because I used to exercise in the morning, walk my dog. So I used to see him and never spoke to him, but I started wearing my Texas stuff. Like all my legit Texas stuff.
Just to make
show
sure.
up. And then we would always just look at each other. Just make eye contact. It was like, I think he was, because I used to wear my actual Texas stuff. Like I said, I'm wearing the
Full uniform.
Yeah.
Helmet and all.
Like he might have played. I wouldn't even know. Like, no, I played back in the day.
This is before y'all ever introduced yourselves to each other.
I actually met him a little bit later.
Uniform the next day. He's like, "What's up, man?"
But I never told him that I was that neighbor.
Gotcha.
That was the neighbor. So I wonder if he ever put it together.
He came out. He would come out to, or Bo Jackson invited him out because the famous play was with Bo and Boz, and like he came out to Bo's bike ride and was the nicest guy. And like, by the way, he's in amazing shape. Dude is a beast.
I wasn't trying to have no confrontation with him.
No question. I talked to him 2 years ago, actually. tried to pitch myself, right? This was pre-true NIL. I said, hey, man, I know you're doing the Fansville Dr. Pepper commercial. Like,
We gonna go Foz and the Boz.
this is what you really need. You need a deputy sheriff. A deputy sheriff. You're the Boz. I'm the Foz. I can be the deputy sheriff. And guess what?
That's a strange.
Twin Ewers took my job.
That's a
Twin
strong
Ewers
pitch,
took my job.
man.
But it ain't as strong as Foz.
Twin, that's what I'm saying. Twin took my job.
Foz
bro.
as the fuzz,
That's
the police
impressive.
officer. I like that.
That is muddy, bro. I like that.
Dr. Pepper never got back to me.
Oh man, well,
So-
Why did you
we didn't
blew up?
hear
They
this.
probably would do it now because you blown up.
And no knock against Quinn, but Fozzie's got way more personality.
What any non-football?
Ed Harris, the actor.
Oh,
I love that hair.
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
And I don't know if you guys have seen it, but Sterling Harjo, who is a Native American filmmaker, he has a show on Hulu called Reservation Dogs.
Oh yeah,
It is
I've seen
That's
the
a great show.
advertisement. I
I didn't realize
Yeah,
he was over.
definitely want to check that out. Yeah, he's also an OU guy. So
you go.
and the random sports guys, you know. But whatever.
We all know all the football guys.
We did.
Actually, they had some big basketball too with Trey
basketball, yeah,
Young
that's
and
true.
like they've had some big time players.
But honestly,
Blake Griffin, jeez,
their claim to fame right now, football wise, is like what they're doing in the NFL in terms of the quarterbacks. I mean,
that's
Baker,
6 current starters wrote
crazy.
6
that's
The thing
QBU.
about it though, I don't really associate that with Oklahoma. I associate that with
'Cause they
Lincoln
were
Riley.
little
Like
bit.
that's
Because
I view that as
It
Lincoln
counts,
Riley.
bro.
I don't view that as an
It
Oklahoma
counts,
stat.
bro.
Yeah, you're right.
Everyone knows.
Well, when you think of all these guys, you think of Lincoln Riley. I don't think of Oklahoma. When I think of these guys. Yeah.
and everyone knows that Washington State is
But to-
QBU
but to-
anyway. So
To be fair, Lincoln Riley only had Caleb Williams at USC. All the other ones came to Oklahoma. I understand. Yeah, and Lincoln Riley was the coach, but it still was at Oklahoma.
And to that point, now with the Mateer thing, they're kind of one of the at least the pioneers of the transfer quarterback model. We
being
bring in
Heisman.
and boom, we win Heisman.
Not just transfer me to
Number
starter.
one overall quarterback. Number one overall pick.
and Washington State has pioneered being the export program for Cam Ward as well as China tier.
That's the intermediate program. But going back to Fozzie's point, I feel like you kind of made my point for me, just because Caleb Williams jumped to USC with Lincoln Riley. So that tells me it's Lincoln Riley. It's not Oklahoma.
Mateer can change that. If Mateer,
Okay, what other USC quarterback has produced at St. J. Mive is doing great now, but who was after Caleb?
It's still early in his tenure. But that fizzle with Lincoln Riley starting to fade
yeah,
a
but
little
even
bit.
like
It's
the
starting to
Dylan,
fade,
even
so.
the Dylan Gabriel thing, like at least that's the model that Oklahoma likes to champion. That no,
Yeah.
we'll bring in an insert here transfer quarterback, and, you can go
And now they
national
start in the
title
league.
and go play in the league. Yeah,
bro.
That's
Six of them.
unreal.
yeah, that's crazy.
That's a stretch
Bro,
right there.
that's a fourth of the league.
That's
eighth of the
And I even
crazy.
forget about Jalen Hurts in that stretch too.
Exactly.
You forget about
Forget
him.
about him, and he won the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
All right, well let's get into the fun part. Let's go predictions. Score prediction, Fozzie. I'm gonna let you go first.
I'm gonna be negative Nancy. I just can't see it. 20-17 Oklahoma. I don't think we
Good thing Hills isn't here.
Boy, he started this thing off hot. Boy,
Hills would be losing his
like the
mind
rivalry
right now.
evaluation.
No, the only reason because I have said before. I think I've said on this pod that I would pick if John Mateer's playing. This is an easy decision.
I think he's playing. That's why.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense. Exactly. I don't think he's playing, so I will take Texas to win. But it's low scoring, man. I'm going. Texas wins. It's 17-13.
Ooh, that's low score.
It's a defensive struggle. Texas offense is not good, and theirs ain't very good either.
I'm going. Oh, I think we win this game. I'm going Fozzie score, but flip. 2017 Texas. I don't think Mateer plays, and I think with Hawkins, I think we'll be pinning our ears back on him.
Yeah, that's right.
And trying to force him to beat us with his arm.
I will say, Mateer plays, they win.
I think we all agree on that.
He got that kind of dog in him. He's gonna go there and tell the coaches, I'm playing this game. It's my damn team.
I think
Like,
even if that happens, I'm gonna let Higgs make his predictions, but I think regardless who plays, I think Texas has their get back.
So
in there.
Mateer
So I
starts. You think Texas?
So what's your score?
Well, I'm gonna let Higgs go first.
I think it's low scoring. I'm going to go Texas wins 17-10.
yes.
And John Mateer, I looked it up. He was on Herb Street's podcast. He's only been to the game one time. and it was during COVID. So he said it
so
really
he
wasn't the
considered
full
real
experience. Yeah, he hadn't really done it.
That's crazy.
It helps Fozzy's theory.
That's what I'm saying.
It helps Fozzy's theory.
17, 13 years?
I 17-10.
17, 10, and do you have Mateer playing?
I don't care if he plays.
See you.
I love it. I love it.
I'm going 21-16 Texas.
Even
And you talked me out of my 10-point Texas win.
What's the over-under on this game, points-wise?
42.5.
42.5. Okay, so we're all predicting a little lower than.
Yeah. By picking on the defense could swing.
We watched every game. Exactly. Because I've gone over pretty much every single time, and I'm starting to reel it back. Well, we appreciate everybody listening. We still have our merch store is up. It has been selling like crazy. Poor Higgs has been fulfilling those orders, so we appreciate that. Stay tuned. We've had everybody asking about these Yetis. So
I was offered cash at ACL yesterday for that.
seriously pay some money. The amount of people that are like, "Hey, can I have one of those?" I'm like, "Have what? Have? Give these away. We don't have that many." So, exactly. These are expensive items, but no, we appreciate it. The great folks at Yeti. They hooked us up with some, and then we're gonna be selling some. So get ready. We have black, white, and orange, and we actually have a different white one too that has some little black accents in here too. So
That orange one goes great. I'm ready for the orange one. That thing goes
I'm gonna be giving out
awesome.
Christmas gifts. This
right, yeah, none of these might make it to the store. Hey, sold out. We sold one. No, but stay tuned for that. We appreciate everybody. Like I said, drop your scores, predictions, etc. Like, subscribe, and we will see y'all for the post game.
Welcome.